What happens when you get a room full of local elected officials together? You have dinner, and you can join them. Stay tuned. You'll hear all about it coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Carolina Cooling and Plumbing in Surfside Beach behind Dick's Pawn Shop and below the Water Tower. We're focused on the upcoming South Strand Republican Club's annual awards dinner. And we're visiting with one of the vice presidents of the club, Bill Schweitzer. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. How are you this
morning? Thanks so much for coming in early on a Thursday morning. Thanks for getting up early and getting a suit on. You look great.
Yeah, I haven't done this in a long time. But I used to start working at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're no longer doing that, I hope.
No.
Good, good. When did you stop that?
Well, I retired from AT&T in the last day of 1989.
Is that right? So right at the beginning of that next decade.
Right.
Right, right. How exciting! Where was that? Was that down here?
No, I'm from Pittsburgh.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
AT&T had a big presence up in Pittsburgh at the time.
Well, yeah. I actually worked 32 years with Bell, Pennsylvania.
Right.
But when the breakup took place in 1984, everything we sold went with AT&T, so we went over and started working for AT&T.
Is that right? What prompted the move down to the Grand Strand?
Well, we've been vacationing down here since 1970.
Really?
And we had a lot of friends, and we just decided this was a nice place to come and retire.
Right, right. Has anyone followed you down, or do you have family come down to visit a lot?
Oh, yeah, the family comes down, visits, and friends.
Sure.
They want to come down for a free day.
I bet they do. Come down and crash out at the Schweitzer's house.
There you go.
I bet. That's exciting. And, of course, real quick, the South Strand Republican Club's been around about how long, Bill?
The South Strand Republican Club was organized in January of 1999 by Terry Cooper.
Right, right.
Who was the District 5
representative on the Horry County Council. Yes,
right.
Yes. And is Terry still active?
No, Terry died in 2005 of cancer. It was a very sad affair.
I know. Well, of course, Terry's a good friend of so many in the area, and I just asked that broad question, not because I didn't know the answer, but for viewers in the PD or southeastern North Carolina, or even viewers down here that have arrived in the area since his death in 2005. Just wanted to make sure had a chance to highlight that. A terrible loss of pancreatic cancer.
Right.
Hit him at a tough, clearly he and his beautiful bride, Elizabeth, and their two children, Hannah and Ryan, everyone impacted. So many folks are impacted by the loss of a loved one.
Right.
So many folks are impacted by that. So he found it in January of '99, and who picked up the ball after his passing?
Well, Ed McMiniman was one, and then since that time, John Bonsignor has picked up the ball and run with it.
Right, yes. Well, I see John's name and phone number on so many press releases that go out about the South Strand Republican Club. Y'all are probably one of the strongest Republican clubs, not only in Horry County, but probably in the Carolinas.
We are the strongest club in Horry County. In fact, we may be the strongest club in the state.
How could you not be? Who would rival the South Strand Republican Club?
Well, there's 4 other clubs in Horry County.
Okay.
But I think we do more, we have more, and accomplish more.
Do you have any activities that you all do in tandem? The 4 clubs get together and do anything on a regular basis?
Well, occasionally we invite them to some of our functions. We have 2 main functions during the course of the year.
Right.
Number one, the dinner dance that we're talking about today.
2 weeks from tomorrow, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we have our cruise in August.
Where you have a lot of elected and appointed officials.
Oh, yes.
On the cruise.
Oh,
folks
yeah.
that travel from far and wide. You've seen congressmen on there and a lot of elected officials on there in the past.
Yes, we usually have 10 to 15 elected officials on the cruise and also on the dance. Now, last month we had a breakfast where we had 10 to 15 officials there, and we had over 100 and some people at the breakfast.
Is that right? Which was held in Murrells Inlet?
At the same place.
As the dinner dance will be at Inlet Affairs, right across from Drunken Jack's.
Drunken Jack, yes.
Great location.
Right. Nice place. We've had most of our affairs there, and it's been very, very successful and very, very nice.
Right, right. If a viewer wants to get off to work now or get family off to school, what's the best phone number for someone to call to find out more about if they can attend the dinner dance the end of this month on Friday the 28th, if they wanted to find more about any of the other events in the South Strand Republican Club during the year? What's the best phone number to call, Bill?
Well, you can call my phone number, which is 843-215-5030.
Okay, 843-215-5030.
And for the members of the club, we send out emails. If the people have emails, we send out emails letting the people know exactly what's going on, what events are coming up. We have our events already scheduled through to September.
Wow, okay, good. Through the boat cruise.
Right.
Which will be held when, Bill?
That will be held August 9th.
Okay.
Saturday, August 9th.
Great.
And we go out at the Waccamaw Zoo.
Right, right.
On Enterprise Road.
I love it, yeah. The Wakatee Zoo, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a great location, and is that a, what's the name? There's a big boat you get on, right?
Yeah, I
can't remember. Is that the
remember.
Waccamaw Queen?
Yeah, I think that's the name of it.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, it is a great opportunity to get out on a boat and enjoy being with lots of folks.
Well, it's very interesting because for 3 hours the politicians cannot get away from you.
That's why I was laughing, Bill. You know, as you think about that.
I mean, they're stuck with us for 3 hours.
I love it. I love it. They ever try to tune you out?
Well,
not you, I'm sure. Yeah.
But it's very interesting. Like when we had our breakfast last month, we broke it up into 4 groups.
Right.
We had the county councilman, we had the school board, we had the legislators, and then anyone else that wanted to speak to any of and ask questions to the various politicians.
Right. That's a great idea.
And that way people get to talk to personally, ask them questions, and find out what is going on. In fact, right now we are in the process of having 2 of our members go to each school board meeting and review what's going on there. I don't think most people in Horry County realizes that the school board has a budget of $500 million, which is a lot of money.
No, that's gigantic.
And we want to make sure that they're using our money effectively.
Right, Bill. I think you had shared with me earlier before we started filming this morning what exactly is the purpose, the mission of the South Strand Republican Club, and it starts with a big E. Okay. It ties into...
the biggest thing we're trying to do is educate people.
Educate, yes.
And let people know what is going on and what is being done and what needs to be done.
Right.
I don't know if you ever watch Sean Hannity or any of those. He does a man on the street, and most people can't even tell you who the vice president of the country is.
Oh, come on.
That's right.
Really? No, I've never seen that.
And it's very interesting, and that's the reason why we try to educate the people here, let them know what's going on, and get them to talk to the politicians, let them give their feelings to the politicians.
The great thing about education there is oftentimes it's not necessarily just focused on Republicans, it's making sure they understand that aspect of the Horry County School Board. All the members aren't Republicans, but clearly they all as a group control $500 million. I mean, that's a big
lot
deal.
Of money.
Yeah, that is a big deal. And so clearly y'all's goal to educate is not just a one-sided, here we only want to teach you about Republican principles. You want to make sure they understand about just the basics of government and how the parties themselves work.
Well, you realize that this is a very big retirement community.
Horry County.
Right.
Horry and Georgetown.
And most of the people, a lot of the people down here, like myself, live on a fixed income.
Right.
And what people don't understand, what some of the politicians at times don't understand, is the fact that if you raise my taxes, you increase my costs, I have to readjust my living.
Right.
And I think it's about time that the political people realize that you can't keep raising taxes.
Right.
If you've got a problem, readjust something and make sure that you don't keep spending money that you don't have.
That's a very good point, Bill. Yes, there are a lot of retirees down here. I think you're right. A lot of folks may not think about them as often as they should. Senior issues and issues, the Herald, as a senior columnist, does a column, My Senior Moment,
Right.
every week, and it's fascinating. This is a woman who cares for her father, who's in his mid-90s, and she's in her early 70s, late 60s, and of course, she really highlights issues that a lot of people never even contemplate.
Well, you've got to realize that you just can't keep spending money, continually raising taxes and continually doing things, because it drastically affects a lot of people, and especially the senior citizens.
Right, right. I'm sure glad you shared that. That's a very good point. If a viewer wanted to attend the dinner, did I ask you this earlier, Bill, the cost for viewers?
All right, the cost of the dinner is $40 per person. That
Okay.
includes a very, very nice meal.
Good, good.
7-course meal.
7 course? Come
Yeah.
on now.
Yes. And a couple is $75.
$75 a couple,
Couple.
okay.
Now, we also have entertainment there. We have a person entertains us.
Great.
We have a lot of the politicians get up for a few minutes and speak to the various people that are there.
Great.
And then we have dancing afterwards.
That's tremendous.
It's a very nice evening and gives a chance for people to get out, number one, to see the politicians,
Yeah.
talk to the politicians, and still enjoy a nice evening out with a nice meal.
Well, that's a tremendous price. How can you go so low at $40 a person? Y'all aren't making any money for the club.
Well, not very much. Now, we also have a silent auction there.
Good, yes, yes. I bought some things there at last year's event.
Which are very good.
Sure.
Price-wise, they're very good.
Great deals.
Right.
Dave Heckman over at the Charleston Cafe donated a couple of dinners that
Right.
I was able to snag for good prices, but all the dollars obviously going to the South Strand Republican Club, which
That's
is
right.
great. Even apolitical people can attend the event, and clearly you want folks to be there. Much of the effort in education is to make sure that candidates and but others have the opportunity to get the word out in general, just to get the word out.
Well, it's just like before I came down here, I found several additional costs on my AT&T long-distance bill.
Right.
And I wrote to Congressman Braun, who in turn wrote to the FCC, and they sent me back a statement on it. Well, I want to know why they are charging this on my long-distance telephone bill for something that has nothing to do with communications.
Right, right.
And
What was the answer? Do you remember? Just
well, let me say that the first person I talked to couldn't answer my questions, so now they have to have somebody call me with the answers.
Right, right.